Hi, it's Miss Vanoy, and I'm here to go over the ToSEEC text frame formula with you all um, so that you know how to approach short answer and ERQs so that when a teacher says you need more detail or you need to elaborate, you actually know how to do that. So let's look very quickly, let me make my face small, at a question that is asked in seventh grade while you're reading Canterbury Tales. The Miller is one of my favorite stories that you will read from that book for sure. This is a text dependent question. Sometimes ERQs and short answers are called that, which basically means you need to make sure you go back to the text and you find the answer. So here is the question. And I want you to notice how in the question it can really give you a lot of clues to how to answer it. In The Miller's Tale, the carpenter only trusts Allison with Nicholas because Nicholas is an educated man, a clever man, a religious man. The parentheses right there, of course, mean it was found on page 18. That's in-text citations. Given Nicholas's actions, what do you think the Miller is suggesting about educated and religious people? So I looked at that question, and I know for one to go back and look around page 18 is probably where I'm going to find some of the text evidence, because that's the statement that was said, so you're going to figure out what supports that statement. So I'm going to break it down to figure out about the topic sentence. I first want to think, what is the topic? So in that little triangle, I think about how it's all about Nicholas being an educated religious man, that one quote about Nicholas. Well, what about that quote? Is that the Miller's being sarcastic, and he thinks that just because that Nicholas is known as an educated and religious person, he's just as bad as anybody else. So he's saying kind of a sarcastic remark. Then when you put that topic and that central idea together, you get this topic sentence. Given Nicholas's actions, the Miller is suggesting that people who are considered good and religious are just as bad as those who are not. So I found a lot of the words I used in my topic statement in the actual prompt. Here it is in the ToSEEC format. I've got it color coded. I don't know if it's popping up in color code for you guys, but the top is given Nicholas's actions, and I just recopied what my topic sentence was. Then I know that on the left-hand side, I'm going to put text evidence. I use the text frame. I know this because in the text it says, and then I'm going to quote something that suggests that Nicholas is just as bad as anybody else. And then I'm going to put the page number I found it, and then I'm going to explain it in my own words. This shows that he's just as bad because blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to restate it in my own words and paraphrase it. Again, I find another piece of evidence where it suggests that the Miller's being sarcastic and that good and religious people, just because somebody's listed or is named that, doesn't mean that they are any better than anybody else. And then the very last thing is going to be your conclusion, this bottom box. And in that bottom box, you're going to just restate your topic sentence. So that's how to break down. That was kind of a more difficult text-dependent question because you had to really think about how the Miller was being sarcastic. And sometimes that's hard for some people to pick up on that he's being sarcastic here. But you're going to want to find why the Miller would have used that phrase about him and then find the text evidence that supports it. Hopefully that helped a little, and I'll be back to help out with other text-dependent questions that go along with short answers and ERQs.